Hey gang, Mocha Boy here, welcome back, and thanks for tuning back in. So we've got a lot to cover today, so we're just going to jump into this real fast. Now, if you haven't done so already, I did ask if all of you could go in and just update your troop level information. Now, the reason that that's important is because we can quickly scan the entire sheet to see how, as a clan, everyone is doing, and if there are anything, if there are any priority upgrades that need to be flagged, we can go ahead and flag them for you to review. So yeah, if you haven't done so already, again, Monkey, Shadow, NBR, Ilya, let's see who else, Clay, and Van Stye. If you guys come in and just update your troop levels, so we can go ahead and review them, and then we can just check to see where everybody's at. But generally speaking, if you want to prioritize your upgrades, again, just to review, everyone needs to get their air defenses up to level 6 at a minimum. And I'm talking put off your point defenses and even your splash towers until these are in place, or at least mix them in. But everybody needs to be going to 6, lickety split. And if you're already at 6, start moving to 7. I'm sending all of mine to 7 right after one after another, because in about a week's time, we can change. Everyone's going to start seeing Lava Hound raids left and right, and nothing short of level 7 ADs is going to protect you from a 2-star against those. So something to consider there. Now on the offensive side, continuing on the defensive side, if you're already Town Hall 9, you must prioritize your clan castle upgrade. This gives you access to higher level donations, so either golems or lava hounds for your attacks. Now, if you're at Town Hall 8 or a new Town Hall 9, definitely consider getting your pekkas to 3. If you've already gotten your pekkas to 3, your golems are at 1, then start considering moving your witches to 2. You'll want to do this sooner rather than later, because this will give you access to higher level attacks at a later date. Now, of course, this is assuming that you've gotten your farming resources all squared away. You really can't start doing a lot of the DE raid armies until you have your DE drills maxed out. So again, if you're a new Town Hall 9, prioritize getting your DE drills. Get your economy going before you start working on your offensive upgrades. For the meantime, you're just gonna have to live with what you have. Now, the nice thing about this is that with the Lava Hounds, these give Town Hall 9s, early Town Hall 9s, access to some extremely powerful attacks. I was playing around with these the other day, and pair up a level 1 Lava Hound with some level 6 balloons, and you can wreck almost any Town Hall 9 base, up to about AD6, and then after that, it comes down to what level your spells are and what level your Lava Hounds are. But if you want to put off some of your Go Wipe compositions, you can do a very fast upgrade all the way up to Lava Hound 1. And the nice thing about this is this gives you access to Witches 1 as well as Lava Hounds 1. And that gets you access to three army compositions as you're working your way up. So very interesting addition to the lineup, these Lava Hounds. Again, consider getting these, at least getting the barracks, one barracks going. And then that'll give you access to a composition that I was playing with, and that's 2 Lava Hounds, 16 balloons, 40 minions, and then drop minions as you need to either add balloons or other or other troops. But extremely powerful combination. I was able to 3-star a lot of Town Hall 9 bases that I couldn't do before. The other nice thing about having balloons at 6 is that as we encounter tougher and tougher opponents, we are going to have to deploy some pretty sophisticated strategies to 3-star a lot of these bases. We have about 5 or 6 guys that can do hollow with a decent level of proficiency, but just like everybody else, myself included, we all need practice. So consider getting your hogs to 5. It's a fast and cheap upgrade comparatively speaking to everything else, but only after you get your Go Wipe. Only after you get your Go Wipe prerequisites done. So Pekkas to 3. At least golems to 1, at least witches to 1, then witches to 2. Also get your dark barracks to 6 and your loons to 6 as quickly as possible. Loons will give you the most options to branch out, both from a farming perspective and an attack perspective. So definitely get those done. So just come in, update your troop levels, And just ping me, and I'll come back in and review. And again, get those air defenses up, get those clan castles up, and we've got a break coming up for this next batch, just to give people a chance to upgrade their heroes. So right after this war, we're going to take a short break, skip one war, and then get right back to it. So that's that. The clan war with Arkansas was rough. We had a lot of attack problems in the first round. Still, a lot of people. I'm still seeing a lot of pathing issues with a lot of different raids, and this is partly my fault because it's funny. I recorded all of the videos for the Go Wipe Academies, but I never released them. So a lot of the old guys know the operating procedures, but none of the new guys do. So we're going to cover that really quickly with a few replays. But generally speaking, hang on a second here. Just going to take a look at my... hang on. So just get rid of some of these here. Let's just use my base as an example here. And this is going to be for any pathing example. I'm going to explain a couple of the features that are built into this base and how they affect troop pathing. Let me just get this here. First off, this is a hog ring base, which interestingly enough is very effective against balloons. Even if balloons were deployed in this kind of a fashion, once they got to here, they'd still end up splitting off in this direction because there's nothing really to target until this third layer of defense is here. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't target it. It just means that you have to be able to take down, defenses in a certain order for it to work. Now, what I mean by that is if you were to deploy your balloons like this, one line down this way and then one line up this way, they will all encounter these defenses at the same time. But because of the positioning, they'll hit this first, they'll hit that first. This group here will hit this first, but then there'll be 1, 2, 3 more defenses that they'll have to go and get. So you'll get consolidation of the balloons here, and then they'll path out this way. And then this group here, depending on when they actually got deployed, will either path to the left or path to the right. And then everything will just split around and then just get murdered by the exterior defenses. Now, that's not to say that this is impossible to attack with balloons, but you have to be able to do this in a certain order. So that order, and this goes for just about any troop and almost any combination, but with defense-led troops, you have to take out these two defenses first. That leaves these defenses along with a clear path into the core with nothing to distract the balloons. You see how that works? Now, with Pekka pathing, wizard pathing, witch pathing, and even the royals, what happens with them is they will favor any building that is unprotected. So if they're in this pocket here and they clear this guy out, and this is the only building left, let's say they came in this way, this BK will actually exit that pocket and come all the way back out to hit that building. Now, if you wanted to ensure that your Pekkas or whatever got corralled and punched into the core of the base, you have to set up something called guardrails. And guardrails they're troops specifically designed to take out these exterior buildings and then leave only these interior buildings for Pekkas to attack. Now, the reason this is important is because of something called an order of operations. And what an order of operations is, at least in this application, is targeting order. So let's take this left hand. Hang on a second here. Let's take this left hand set of buildings here. If you were to deploy golems and Pekkas and wizards, the way that you would do it is one golem here to target this guy, one golem here to target this guy, as well as draw this guy's fire, and this fire, and this fire. That leaves you with 4 buildings that leaves you with 4 distractions, that you'll have to take care of. And along with possibly one more over here. And the way this works is, once you've got your golems down, you immediately drop 1 wizard here and 2 wizards here to take out that army camp as well as this guy. Now the wizard will probably end up getting smushed unless that golem is running interference for it. But if you're lucky, he'll come to the outside and take out this building as well. Now notice I haven't even touched these two buildings yet, and that's important because once this guy's out, this guy's out, this guy's out, this guy's out, don't drop wizards. Now this is where things get a little wacky. Don't drop your wizards, drop your pekkas. Drop your pekkas, and then drop your wall breakers right behind them to go and take out this wall. Now the reason that you drop pekkas and not wizards is because that gets the pekkas closer to the second level of targets. Once they take this guy out and once they take this guy out, there's about a 2 second or about a second delay while they figure out their next target. If you have this army camp still up, it's possible that this guy will end up pathing that way. But if you can take out these buildings and take out this wall, that leaves this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, all available for the pekkas to target. And that's how you path everything in. It's not about targeting the exterior buildings and clearing all of the trash. It's about getting the pekkas closer to their second target, not their first target, their second target. So, I mean, a lot of you have been asking me like how I path my troops into the core of the base, and that's really what it is. It's because, hang on a second here. It's not because I've cleared the trash on the outside, which is important, but it's because I figured out the order of operations for targeting. So you want to make sure you set up those guardrails, and then give your troops a path to get into the second level of targets. Now, honestly, once you get past the second level of targets, it's anyone's game. And, a lot of the miracles that you see me pull off are really just a lot of dumb luck. It's not like, there's no way that you can plan what's going to happen in the third round of targeting because there's so many things that can happen in between. But if you can at least get your first level targeting and then give them the option to get to the second level of targeting, which would be targets within a base, then you're in good shape. But remember always to set up those guardrails to give and push all of your troops into the core. So again, just really quickly, golem, 2 wizards, 1 wizard here, pause, and then once these buildings start to go down, drop your pekka, drop your pekka, drop your pekka, and then wizards right behind those guys as well as wall breakers. They'll go in here, take that out, and then everything as a group will push into the core of the base. So when you're figuring out your order of operations, it could be, again, the timing of deployment is critical. And this is up against a flat wall. Now, if you wanted to do, say, a corner, corners get a little bit trickier, but I mean, it's generally the same idea. You would do golem here, wizard, leave this building alone. You want to make sure that you've taken out at least up to here before you start dropping your DPS. But what will happen is once this is down, and this is the only thing left, you drop your pekkas. They'll take this out and then advance forward. Or if you're really unlucky, you start advancing towards the exterior. But I'll explain how to counter that in just a sec. So yeah, golem, Pekka, along with wizards up here. And then your next, the one thing that you absolutely must do right after that is get them an opening into the inner core. That'll get them into here. That'll give your wizards time enough to start clearing out the trash on the outside. And then, almost in a serial fashion, you'll be able to advance the entire army, the entire wall of that army, all at the same rate. But that's where your wall breakers come in. They've got to be able to take out that junction there, that junction there, that junction there, to get everyone into the core of the base. Now this will go for any scenario. I will show you a few scenarios that I ran into. We'll cover that in the recaps in another video. But I wanted, I wanted to show you just a couple of the deployment examples of how I would attack bases. So we're going to cover just a few more examples just to solidify the concept. We're in preparation day right now for Japan, so let's take a look at, I'm probably going to hollow my base, so that should be a fun one. But let's take a look at Scout. Okay, so for a base like this, you have the option of attacking from the left or from the right, from the bottom right-hand corner. What you don't want to do is you don't want to attack from the south because of this structure here. When your troops get up to about here, they'll split and go right, like that. And unless you're running go wee-wee, you're going to have a lot of trouble with pathing. Now, the thing that I like about this base is that there doesn't seem to be any pockets for a lot of things, but I would say dollars to donuts. There's either a Tesla or a big bomb right here, and then quad Teslas here in the core, expecting a southern attack. There'll probably be big bombs up here, just in case you decide to attack from the backside. But these seem to be pretty clear paths into the core of the base. Now, the order of operations for this, let's say, just for the sake of argument, let's do one golem deployed right here to draw that fire, one golem deployed here to draw that fire. Now, what may happen is a Tesla may pop there, and then he'll end up going in that direction. That's still not a problem because there's not a lot of long-range defenses. And after this gets taken out anyway, then you'll be in good shape. The only thing that might muck you up is if there's a Tesla right here. So just be ready to see something like that. Again, golem here, golem here. You will want one entry point should be good enough for this base. Once all the defenses are distracted, and that includes the Expo. Let's see what its range is here. Okay, so yeah, that'll only get triggered by this golem up here. Once you get your golems inside the first core, you'll have wizards. Hang on. You'll have wizards setting up guardrails here and here, but leave these three buildings alone. And then if you really want to be slick with your pathing, this is the way that you do it. You deploy one Pekka here, you deploy one Pekka here, then you pause. Then you deploy the third Pekka. That's to attack this. What will happen is this will go down, he'll go right, this will go down, he'll go right. And this is assuming, of course, the guardrails are already set up. And then this Pekka will just automatically get attracted to this. Now, while all of this is happening, you will have sent your wall breakers in to create an opening. Now, once that opening is in place and all the guardrails have been set up, there's nowhere left for your troops to go except directly into the core of the base. That is the order of operations that you take buildings out in. You don't just drop wizards in a serial fashion and then just expect them all to move at the same rate. It almost never works like that. You have to set up concentrations of troops, and you have to set them up in different orders to ensure that the bulk of your army gets into the core of the base. Okay, so set up the guardrails. Pekkas are on their way in. What happens at this point is the royals will aggro as well as the CC will dump out. Now this is really good for a couple of different reasons, because you have now 30 targets to draw the rest of your troops into the core of the base. Now, one particular issue with this base is this pocket right here. It'll clump all of your troops into this one little pocket and then just rain all kinds of splash damage in this one pocket. So that's one thing to be careful of. If you can drop in a wall breaker here and then send in 3 immediately right after that, then that'll open this pocket here and this pocket here. Now, I'm not so worried about this last wall, and there's a trick that I learned when it comes to aggroing the clan castle. Your troops will fight through any wall to get to the clan castle troops, so that's why I almost never worry about these, because they'll just blast their way through them, especially if you have Pekkas, and if the Pekkas are raged. The Pekkas will one-shot even this Lego wall once all 3 of them get to a junction. So, the Pekkas are in here. Your witches are spawning skeletons for distractions. Your wizards are also coming in right behind them. This is a great time to drop a rage. This is also a great time to drop a heal, because at this point your golems will have pulled in, and then they will benefit from that recharge. So, at that point, it's anyone's guess as to what happens. but just about guaranteed that, you know, if you set up those guardrails and if you drop your pekkas exactly in that order, along with the wizards right behind them, then you'll be good to go. Now, the deployment mistakes that I've been seeing is you wait for the pekkas, you wait too long for the pekkas to get in on the action. I mean, yes, it's an option, but boy, it's really difficult to target interior buildings with pekkas if you wait too long. That is to say, let's say you take out all these buildings except for this one, and then you drop a pekka right here. You think he's going to go for this wall. He's not. He's going to go straight for that army camp on the south side. That's how hard it is. So you want to. My preference when it comes to deployments is to get the pekkas on the field early, not wait for them. Because the mistakes that I saw in a lot of the attacks were people who just held on to their pekkas for too long, and then you know, their targeting got away from them. So yeah, I mean those are. Hang on a second here. Those are, generally speaking, the order of operations that it takes to ensure that the bulk of your forces punch into the core of the base. Now, I want to stress that this is not going to be the case in every raid. There are going to be times when you're going to have to change the allocation of troops to favor one side versus another. But I mean, we're talking some pretty advanced pathing techniques there, and you know, don't worry about them. You'll get to that point. For now, if you can just get your pekkas into the core, generally speaking, once they're raged, they cause all kinds of havoc once they're inside the core. But you have to get them in there for them to do their work. If they're going all Benny Hill around the outside of the base, you know, that's not going to win us any wars. And we really got to bone up on our pathing and setting up of our guardrails if we want to compete at the level that we're at. So that's about it. I'm going to cut it here. I'll do the recaps in another video. Again, you know, think about your offensive priorities. Think about your defensive priorities, your upgrade priorities. Work on your pathing. Work on your spell placement and work on your timings. And the only way that you can do that is to just go practice. Go out and find a really hard base and try to level it with a go wipe army, with a go wee wee army, whatever you have. Just put in your notes that you're practicing for an attack, and you know, I'll gem up pekkas if I have to, if I'm on and I see it, because you guys have to get that practice in. So that's about it. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, just drop any notes in and let me know. Talk to you soon.